Hi everybody, Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you a perpetual calendar. I saw one of these on Pinterest and I thought that it'd be really cute. As you know, I mentioned before when I did my embellishment holders that I will soon have a lovely big craft room all for myself instead of sharing a small room with my husband. So hopefully I will have lots of space, and I thought this would be really pretty to sit in there so that I know what the date is without having to worry about things. The only downside is you have to remember to change it every day. But as you can see, just 2 cubes with all the numbers on, and excuse me, a lovely little holder that will just sit nicely on the desk, and as I say, it will just fit the cubes in nicely just to sit. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could have interchangeable months on the top or something like that. You can really decorate it however you like. Obviously, as you can see, I've used the really beautiful and new Petal Garden DSP. I love that suite and I just think it's so nice, and again, this is from the Born to Be Loved stamp set as well, which I've heat embossed in white on Calypso Coral. Pool Party numbers, again the Petal Garden DSP and Calypso Coral cardstock. The only downside with this is that you do need 3 sheets of 12 by 12. Unfortunately, I did run out, and you can, for want of a better phrase, you can fiddle it a little. I don't know which box it was, but one of them, and I can't even tell now, but one of them I did run out of a piece of cardstock, so I actually managed with 2 sheets of A4, but ideally 3 sheets of 12 by 12 is ideal. So I'll put this to one side and I'll show you how to make it. So first off, I will show you just how to make the cubes, the numbers, which the dates are on. So you need to start off with a piece of cardstock, and I'm using Pool Party on this one, and it needs to be 10 by 8 3/4. We then need to bring in our scoring board, and with your 10 across the top, we then need to score at 1 inch, 3 1/4, 5 1/2, and 7 3/4, and then we need to rotate so that we're on the 8 3/4 edge, and we score the same again. So 1 inch, 3 1/4 inch, 5 1/2 inch, and 7 3/4 inch. And then, as we do with all of our projects, bone folder, and we fold and burnish all of our score lines, which I'm just going to whiz through quickly. And then obviously we then need to do some cutting. So I've actually got my large scissors here just because it's easier for me, to be honest. So with your 8 across the top, you need to think of it as a cross. So we need these 4 panels here, sorry, slightly off camera there, 4 panels here and the 3 across there. Those are going to be your 6 squares. So if we flop it over, it might be easier just to draw on the inside, because we're not going to be seeing this side. So like I said, these ones are the ones we're keeping. So we need tabs here, 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 that wasn't a very good tab, here, here, and here, and sorry, and then the last one here. Everything else can be cut away. So straight down this one, so down the first full square, down the second full square, and then I just cut halfway across that one, and then just cut the tabs away, whoops, here and here, and then again that one halfway across, cut down, cut a tab. Let's get rid of, oops, and that one there, nearly missed one. So that's how your first side should look, and then we do exactly the same on the other. So down there and across. These don't have to be perfect because they are just going to be your tabs that go inside. And then straight up here. And then there. And then the last corners just on here. Get rid of all of this rubbish and flip it over, and there you have it. And that is how yours should look when you've done. So obviously the next thing we need to do then is to stick our panels on. Now I'm using the, like I say, I've got Pool Party Base, and I'm using the Petal Garden DSP again, and I'm just using these spotty ones this time. So just spin them over, and these panels are simply 2 by 2, 2 inches by 2 inches, and as I say, just randomly get them stuck on. You can either use snail or fuse, whichever you feel comfortable with, or even liquid glue if you're happy for it to wait and dry a little while, if you can go off and do something while it's drying. Either or. So just put all these squares on. I'm guessing this one will be for my husband, being as he'll have his own room now, although it'll be down to me to change it, I'm sure, every day, because he won't. Okay, so there are my panels on. The next thing I need are my numbers, and I've die cut these out ahead of time just because it would save time, otherwise I'll be here all day cutting and doing. So with your cubes, and I've got my other one here prepared ready, on your first cube, and this will all be on my blog anyway, but on your first cube you will simply need the numbers 0 to 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the second one, as you can see, where have I put my glue dots there, we simply need 0, 1, 2, 7, 8 and 9, because your 9 will double up as the 6. So I've used glue dots to adhere these just because they're a little easier. So just grab my glue dots, and the good thing about these are they're so inexpensive that you can put on as many as you like or as little as you like. So just get sticking these numbers on. And as I say, I will have all these details on my blog so that you can get the right numbers on your cubes. Oh, come on, stick to card and not me. And to be fair, there's no right or wrong order or way of doing them, because obviously once they're on your block, as you can see with this one, you're going to be twisting and turning it anyway, so unless you have a real thing about things being in order, then as I say, it really doesn't matter. Just stick them on any which way you want. So I'm just coming down to these last ones. I can't believe how good my dogs are being today. Mind you, I have worn them out, so hopefully they will remain quiet just while we get these done. They usually do have to have a say about something, although one of them is sat in the other window, so there's a fair chance if someone goes past she'll have to tell them all about it. Okay, so last one. Just one more, just there. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab my fuse and simply get adhesive on all of the tabs. Just go along onto each one, and then as we do, we just make up our cube. So as you can see, that scribbles all on the inside, completely out of sight. Just make sure you're lining up the squares, give it a little press, and then this one, quite simply, you fold them edges in, tuck that in as you would a lid of a box, and then just give it a little press, and there you have it, your 2 cubes. And as you can see, you can now make up, obviously we're not going to have the 65 days, but thank goodness, but there's your cubes. So I'm just going to quickly show you now how to make the actual holder. So for that you will need a piece of cardstock which is 10 by 9 1/8. Now you can do it 10 by 9 if you wish, but I did notice on mine, and I don't know if you can see it, it very slightly bulges because I didn't really take into consideration the thickness of the card. So this one is 9 1/8, but as you can see when it stands up, it bulges very slightly. So I'm going to try and do this one with 9 1/8 just to see if it will make any difference. So 10 by 9 1/8. So on the 10, we need to score at 5, 7 1/4, 7 1/2, and 9 3/4. Yes, that's right, that tiny little bit. We're then going to rotate and score on the 9-inch side at 2 1/4, and then on this side we're going to score at 6 7/8. Simple. And yes, you've guessed it, back again out with our scoring tool, and we're going to fold and burnish our score lines. Now obviously these small ones are quite narrow, but what I actually want to do, is fold them this way, because this is the way that the box base will fold. And then unfortunately this little one here is a bit of a pain, but it works. Okay, so there's that bit done. Now what we need is for this just to fold up and fold over so that it just sits like that. So it's just simple, it's just really to add a platform for the base. So we don't need the skinny bit, the first square, or the second skinny bit. So we can cut those away. Likewise on this side. So we're cutting away the 2 skinnies and the first square. And now this one is going to be the tabs that slide inside. So we cut up here, and we cut up this one, which is always hard to do when you, that's better. Okay, and then all we need to do is put adhesive on them and fold them in. Now if you want to, you can cut wedges. I'm not so bothered about doing the wedges. We'll do them anyway. If we're going to do it, let's do it properly, as the saying goes. And then this one, just do those wedges. So flick it over and get some adhesive on there. And then we'll just sit this down. You'll just need to, if you've done wedges, you'll just need to make sure that that edge is straight. And then likewise with this one, just make sure it lines up. Okay, so we need to stick our DSP inside, and this panel is 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. I've not adjusted it for the 1/8 because I really think it is quite insignificant. Now unfortunately they didn't do a plain DSP in the Petal Garden suite that's just Pool Party, but I did manage to cut most of the pattern off with just this little corner, which will be hidden by the cubes anyway. So I'm just going to stick this on. Make sure I get it the right way round. Let's just make sure I line it up as best I can. I'm not so bothered about the bottom because you won't really see that. There we go. And then for this bit I actually used my silicone mat and some tear and tape, simply because that is too narrow to try and fight with snail or fast fuse. And to be honest, it was so easy to do the fast fuse, the tear and tape, because you just pop it on like that, then you take your backing off. Let's just trim an edge, it might make it a touch easier. Get off, it's stuck to me, can't get it off, never mind. So we just take this off, and then I just simply fold the tape over just so that it tucks in on itself, and then all you need to do then is fold it up and over. Now the other trick I did learn with this, and I'm just going to use some of my glue dot tape here, is just tear some of the backing off and pop it on here, because you need to get this lined up before it goes in place, and if you get it stuck to your fingers and stuff like that, it won't stick. So fold it over, make sure you're happy with it being lined up, and then just give it a press very gently with your thumb on the front and your fingers running across the back. Pull these out, and there's your base sat quite happy. Now I've left the sides complete on this one. Let's pop these in. See if the one, yeah, you see that 1/8 just made a fraction of a difference there. Now these gape because I've left them whole. Now you can cut them down if you wish. You can either do it with your scoring, your trimmer. You just line those two edges up, no, in fact those two edges up, or you can do it with a pencil and a ruler, or if you're brave like me, you can do it by eye. Now I'm not fantastic at doing stuff by eye, and this probably is quite wonky, but I don't think actually it's that bad. There we go. So I've now trimmed those sides down, and as I say, this one I actually did with the trimmer. I just lined it up. Why is that moving? Lined it up and just cut the thing before I glued it all up. But this one, obviously I've done by eye, which isn't too bad. And then I've just got my lots of labels, framelets, which I've cut out, and again downsized one and done DSP, which again I'm just going to stick onto the top here. And then, although I haven't quite decided how I'm going to decorate this one yet, because it is for my husband, I shall probably put just something different on the top there. I don't think he'll appreciate Born to be Loved on his, so I'll probably just put something else on there. But they're really cute presents, and ideal for Father's Day as well, because don't forget that's coming up this weekend, and if you haven't got anything like me, might just be an ideal little gift for them to have next to their computer desk, or in their shed or garage or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, all the measurements and the numbers for the cubes and things like that will all be on my blog. All of the products I've used can be purchased in the shop, and that is in the link below. And as always, I'd be very honoured if you purchased the items through me. Hopefully you'll find a use or find someone that will like one of these as a gift. Thank you for joining me, guys. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye.